What's up, y'all? I'm here doing a response video to West Coast Graffiti's response to my video on whether positivity sells more than negativity. He thinks it's negativity. So here goes. First, thank you so much, West Coast, for the shout out. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the support. I gotta say that your criticism or your critique, your constructive criticism, is probably the kindest constructive criticism I've ever received in my life. I'm gonna play that over and over for my family, who says I never shut up. So hearing you ask for a longer video was really kind. Thank you. Then the part about I'm lying if I say that I don't watch drama or don't like it. And, you know, I struggle really hard. Well, I don't struggle hard. It comes natural, but I take a lot of care in what I say so that I don't come off as untruthful, because, you know, that's not something I am. I do watch drama. If there's a war going on and stats are coming out about how many people were killed, where they were killed, I follow it like daily. And I think that kind of speaks to something that I see in YouTube and in society in general. So it's not just the YouTube community. I see it in like school folks and office folks, and that's that folks tend to swing from one extreme to the other, and there's this mentality of this or that and not a hybrid of some sort. So I would say that my message in that video is that people prefer positivity, as I do. I think that it's human nature to prefer positivity. After your video, I tried to look up videos that had a negative content to them, and talked about like some of the negative stuff in the world. And, you know, the first term I looked up was cartel stuff, right? And the highest number of views I could find in that genre, and, you know, you could look, there might be more, you know, my research wasn't exhaustive. So there was 15 million there. Then I Googled prison fights, prison stories, street beefs, you know, gangs, and I think the highest one there was like 20 million. And it was someone I'd never even heard of, you know, from that genre. And then I Googled like this thing called street beefs, where people who have like beef, they handle it in the ring. And, you know, they're doing it all the time. Even other content creators, they're going on street beefs and handling it. And that one had one that had 40 million views, and I was like, wow, you know, that's a lot. So negativity does sell. You know, I didn't say that it didn't, and that I don't watch it, but I do prefer positivity, and I think other people prefer it as well. Society in general prefers it, and so there's these Thai commercials that focus on kindness, and there's one in particular called the Unsung Hero, and it shows this guy in the course of his day. You know, he moves a plant to where the water's dripping, he gives some money to this little girl who's poor and needs it for school, he feeds this dog, he helps this lady with her cart, and he does all these little kind things throughout the day. And the narrator then says, you know, he's not going to be richer for it. He's not going to be famous. He's still going to be anonymous. So what does he get out of it? And it says he gets emotions, and then it shows the people hugging him and thanking him. Later on in the video, it shows that the little girl was finally able to go to school, and that's in part because of his contribution to her. And it says that he gets a more beautiful world that he helped create. And that video has, I think, 112 million views. And when I looked at most popular videos ever, they're like kids videos that are just dancing and singing, like just happy-go-lucky stuff. So there's that. The thing with society that I said is that I think folks look at things like, okay, well, if you don't like positivity, you must like negativity. Okay, if you don't like these liberal people, you must run to the conservative side. And really, things in life are a lot more nuanced than that. When I was younger, I had to do a psychological evaluation, IQ test, all that. And I was, I was young. I was still in my teens. And one of the things that came back was that I saw the world in very black and white terms, and I tended to swing from extremes, and that there was no gray areas. You were either right or you were wrong. And that's not how the world works. There's a lot more gray than absolute black or white, right or wrong. That said, regarding the videos that people do of paying rent and positivity, again, I think that we need to exercise, if we want to, like, a life that you don't reflect on was not worth living, is what I believe. And so if you want to really look at things deeply, you have to reflect on some of these things that that matter in life. And I think that understanding that there's these gray areas. And so I'm going to be completely honest. When I made the video of giving the money away, there was not one thing that motivated that. It was not done solely for views, but that was a part of it. I did want to get views, and I thought that would get views. And part of the reason I wanted to get the views was to show West Coast that, look, I made this positive video, and look how much better it has done than my other ones. Look at the videos that these guys make and how they regularly get millions of views. And so the goal was also to try and encourage some of the YouTube community to understand, you don't just have to be negative. There are positive things that you can do. And if you think you might have to be negative, maybe you're appealing to a small segment of society and not the greater society. Most people, I think, want to live by others' happiness. You don't want neighbors that are miserable. You don't want to drive down the street and see people that are fighting, as much as you'd like to see happy families. Yeah, you'll stop, because it's like watching a train wreck. If I can give you an analogy, let's say someone stole a bus or a car, and it's full of the most vulnerable people that you would never want to see harmed, but they're barreling down the street at 100 miles an hour, and there's another fool that did the same thing headed towards them. You're not going to peel your eyes away. More than likely, it's people are. That's why you have rubberneckers on the freeway, because everybody has this morbid curiosity. So yeah, I do watch drama. I get to a point where I can't tolerate it no more, and I'll turn it off for a while, and then I'll focus on the positive stuff. But with the positive stuff, I never get to a point where I don't want to watch it anymore, or it's tiresome, or the energy is just draining from me, my positive energy, because it's being spent on this negative stuff. And that, I think, is human nature. I think if you believe in God, you believe that we want what's good, and it's just easier to do wrong. It's easier to to fall into negativity than it is to do right sometimes. So I think that's part of it. I knew I was gonna forget something, and I feel like I already am. I'm gonna have to buy this video splicer so I can put together additions to this. But it yeah. So that's my thing. And oh yeah, again with the all or nothing. That's what I was forgetting. So, someone like you said, so you might do something and put it on a video, and want to get views. I wanted to get views. That was part of it. But I do that with the understanding that, because I believe in God, right? That God's not going to reward me for that. To God, I didn't do something good. That was something I did here in this secular world, in this world of men, women, and humans, so that maybe someone could see that and think, I could do that too. Besides posting it on YouTube, I sent it to, friends that I have who I know were poor when they grew up and have, sports cars and lowriders and motorcycles and nice houses. Not everybody's struggling, and some of them is G-Foos that appreciate, when I call them out like that and say, all right, we'll do that too. So I don't believe that my reward is with God when I share these things with men. But you mentioned all these negative comments. I could care less about those negative comments. You know why? Because I know who I am, and what they see might only be the tip of the iceberg. I don't need to show every single dollar I donate or every single charitable act that I do. I have a video of me picking up garbage in the community. That video doesn't show me writing letters, taking time away from my family to the Board of Supervisors about their lack of sanitation services in my community, which is a community of color, which is the Lario. They don't see me attending those meetings in the evening so that I could call out them not picking up the garbage from the homeless camps until they look apocalyptic, where they could be addressing it on a regular basis and we can coexist until they find solutions. See, that would be boring to you guys, and I know that. Or not to you, West Coast. I'm speaking rhetorically. And that... So that's why I kept my videos short. And again, I'm really grateful that you asked me for a longer video, so that's what I'm doing right now. But, I also, because it's not all or nothing with me, have read parts of the Quran. And in the Quran, it says that, you should keep things where you want your treasures stored in heaven between you and God. And if you don't ever want to be broke, keep stuff to yourself, and God has your treasures up there for you. If you want to tell people about it and show them, your reward is here on earth. And I think you can do both. They're not mutually exclusive. Just because you gave on YouTube to maybe inspire one or two people doesn't mean you can't give on your own outside of YouTube. Maybe a lot of people already do that. I would guess most do. And, what are we if not good judges of character, having grown up on the streets and having to, learn fast? If you can't look at someone and see if, they're genuine people with kind hearts, or, grandstanders trying to convince you of something they are. I believe that the guys I see giving out this money and paying people's rents are genuinely kind people. And for all we know, they might do a lot more than that. For all we know, they get to write that off on their taxes because that's their business. That's what they do, and that's how they make their money. And that's a tax write-off on top of everything else. So they do got to claim that. And I don't think it's bad. At the end of the day, people get their rent paid. People who might be living in situations where no one ever seemed to care about them find that one person did, that one person looked out for them. But back to the topic at hand, a lot of lowrider bans have been lifted. Right here at this park, there's probably a bunch of lowriders around the corner. And when you listen to the lowrider community talk about it, they're all celebrating the positivity that led to those changes and discouraging the negativity. They get mad if you show up burning rubber, disrespecting folks, not picking up after yourself. They don't want to see fights there. That shit ruins their family time. They're good ambiente. So I think negativity sells when you're catering to the people that um, maybe feel excluded from opportunities to enjoy the positivity in the world, and um, they they somehow I think they might have lost their way if they like negativity for the sake of negativity. And I'll tell you, I've watched videos that are probably as negative as a person can humanly go, as evil as someone can go. They're not hard to find. They're on the internet. And when this guy, he committed an atrocious act against another one, and they're at a party, at a ranch. Um, the 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 gore didn't shock me. It didn't scare me. I've seen gore in actual life in the operating rooms. The doctors, hey, you want to watch? Sure, I'll watch. Um, that don't faze me. What fazed me was the party laughing and thinking that was entertainment. That person's suffering was entertainment for them. That was wicked and evil. And I think there was something wrong with that, because that's not humanity. Society, I had a homeboy that he killed somebody. He went away for a long time. And one of the things that stands out about, before that, was that we were at the same park. We were kicking it. We were out here. There's an area around the corner. It's called the Horseshoe, and that's where all the lowriders, all the homeboys kicked it. In the 90s, you could just show up there and someone was gonna be there. No matter the time of day, morning, night, you show up, eyes like saucers at 6 in the morning. There's someone there with eyes even like plates. And it was just a spot, and even though their eyes were big, they weren't homeless. They had low riders. They were kicking it. Drinking beers at 9 in the morning, driving around, hitting switches on people, bumping beats, going to other parks. It was just good times, carefree. But we saw a family, and it was this white family, and they were playing soccer with their kids, and it was the mom and the dad, and he looks at me and he's like, man, why can't we fucking be happy like that? Why can't our families be like that? And that always stood out for me, that it felt like us and them, and we weren't meant to have that kind of positivity and happiness. And so I think when I originally made that video, it was my goal and intent, my primary driver for making that video, not the one of the $50, but the negativity versus positivity, was to maybe broaden some YouTube platforms beyond the folks that do like the drama. If you are in that circle, then those folks do like the drama. If you rode the bus to school, the back of the bus liked the drama more than the front of the bus. And in greater society, people doing things like, checking out all those lotuses at the park, going to a restaurant for lunch, and then going home to a nice house that's, happy and positive. They would prefer that, to negativity and fighting and suffering. And I think that's what negativity is. The drama, we know if it escalates, it doesn't lead nowhere good. Someone's going to get hurt. And I'll say that I don't like watching people get hurt. That doesn't entertain me. I do watch drama because it's like a train wreck. I'm a student of human psychology. I people watch. I analyze. I study people. I try to figure out what makes them tick, to the point where I can see the gears turning in their head, and I already know what they're gonna do. So I do have to, you know, watch everything to appreciate the spectrum of human capacity and range. And you know, I'll say I watch folks that I think are complete and totally not self-aware. They don't realize how they come off to society, and they're only big shots to a very narrow segment of society, and that narrow segment does like negativity. So um, I think their growth is limited by that, and that's what I was trying to help folks understand. If you really want to grow and reach your potential, um, you have to offer more than just negativity. And so, um, you know, the channels that give away money, they prank people, man, and some of those pranks are a little bit mean. So it's not all positive, and I think that's part of what helps the channel grow. And you know, it's just it's a beautiful life. So I'm gonna post the links to the Unsung Hero. I dare you guys to watch it, and if you could share in the comments how it made you feel, and then I'll share that $40 million or that 40 million view fight, and then you guys could just say which one you preferred. And you know, there is no right or wrongs. I'm speaking just for myself and my own personal beliefs that we want to see the good in the world. Look at that, all those people. You know, those are Buddhist monks gonna go down there and check out the lotus. You know, this is positivity, man. This is happiness. This is what's up. And you know, much love, West Coast. I really appreciate it. If you want to keep this going, we can. You know, if I think you should make a video, a positive one, and then we just see what happens with that. It doesn't have to be $50 either. It could be anything. You know, show up to a house that has a jacked up lawn and be like, hey man, I want to mow this lawn for you. Mow it and then bounce, and then, you know, push that positivity too, man. It's all or nothing would make it a boring world. It's good to have a mix of things. So let's just say positivity sells 80% and negativity sells 20. All right, man. Take care. I hope you have a wonderful and safe holiday.